Welcome, and welcome. I got so much going on behind me, but guess what? We're here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition, to another
Yes.
installment of hashtag Fade to Black. I'm here with Beast Johnson. Unfortunately, Cheech will not be joining us. Hopefully that she's doing okay and all that. So remember, she is a college professor. But Beast Johnson, welcome to the show, man. While you drink your little
Welcome,
drink.
welcome. How we
drink.
doing? Yes.
Oh, Joe,
I love scotch. Scotch. Mm-mm-mm.
I wish I could drink something like that. But miss you all Monday, man. We wanted to talk about the Joe Button situation, but you got time to talk about that. So this show is
Yes.
basically going to be a continuation of the conversation that we have on Monday about China buying up all of Africa. And then we go get into the Joe Button situation. But I really want to go to the opening statement because what you just told me before this show started, I think everybody should know. And before we jump into that, I would like to introduce our sponsor for the show, and that's Real Cheddar Boy Popcorn,
Cheddar.
the only
Mm.
popcorn, black owned popcorn here in Washington, 12 different flavors. But enough of my talking. Let's get to these opening statements. I cannot
Yeah.
wait. Let's get it.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna have to light up a fresh one for this one. So first off, good evening, one and all. Uh, I've always had this love-hate relationship with radio, and every artist knows this feeling. And the information that you get in life is always valued more when it's given without value. Me, I often do forums and little mini seminars, basically just for young up and coming artists and writers, anything that I can help you further your way, make it a little easier for you. Take heed of it because it may not work for you at the moment that you require it to work for you, but it may help you down the line. So don't feel in good consciousness actually charging you. Whereas you have individuals that have notoriety and fame, even on a local radio level, feel as though they can charge you $50 for an hour Zoom meeting about possible radio placement with giving you information that 75% of it can be easily Googled. The other 25 is kind of common sense and street knowledge through network. Point being, what's that $50 really getting me? Are you going to help me get my song on there? Then why am I going to listen to you ramble on for an hour? As a local resident and local artist, I did take offense and was curious about his methods. And myself and others did kind of reach out to him, and his responses and conduct were very disparaging, to say the least. It's sad enough that you feel as though you are deserving of the right to charge $50 to individuals who have in the past given at least $80 to $100 multiple times for events and endeavors that include you. So I can understand that whole get money thing, but not all money good money. And sometimes you can get more money by not expecting money up front. That's just me. I do business a little different. Point being is, for you to be a local celebrity, for you to feel as though you are deserving of this money, and then tell the individuals you are expecting to relinquish this money that their particular craft is not up to par because there's no local interest. Well, I'm about to have a Kobe moment right now because I take that personally. So yes, sir, I agree with you that locally speaking, not too many people outside of my collective and collaborative interests really know what I do or know the level. But I recently just dropped an EP with only 6 songs, not even a full month ago, and I'm currently at over 15,000 streams. Minimum 2,000 just coming from the city of Buffalo. So shouts out to Buffalo. Anybody watching, I fucking love y'all. Let me know what clubs I can come perform at. Cause y'all rocks with me. So I fucking rocks with you heavy. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's Brazil, Germany, the UK. They're trying to get me a passport situation dealed out. So I'm cool with being known in areas and cities that would pay the money to come see me and pay the extra money to help get my black ass out there. I don't really need to get on 102 or local 97 when I have the global radio station of Spotify, Tidal, Apple, insert whatever your fucking favorite particular streaming service is. My ass is on there. And that plays 24/7 at your leisure. So I'm cool with them playing it. I'm actually more happy. But don't for any second disparage or defame or besmirch the efforts and the energies put in by the main individuals you seek to gain some kind of financial comeuppance. That is ignorance, that is foolhardy rhetoric, and that is the quickest way to burn every bridge you have and become the next Terrence J. Eventually, you gotta leave the state because don't nobody fuck with you. You canceled, my G. That can't happen. And you know North Carolinians, we notorious for that shit. So as I end this rant, I implore all artists in my area of Greensboro, North Carolina, and the surrounding Carolina areas, as well as any artist or anyone connected to an artist, to share this message and let them know that if you feel what I feel, if you understand, acknowledge, and accept that this is wrong, bring your ass to the web network. Because we about to start up our own little countdown show. We about to go ahead and create the narrative. We about to go ahead and set up the space. Fuck a top 10. Let's do a top 10 in each state. Y'all send me your videos so I can put them out there. I show these local radio stations. They're ignorant, and their way of doing business is flawed, infallible, and it's fucking stupid. Let's change the narrative so we can control it. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you for that. We got first from Poland. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to hashtag Fade to Black. I want to continue on with what my panelists had to say. The Wet Network. We already got a channel that is happening right now on Stream. Let me go ahead and pop that in the bottom for y'all so y'all can check this out. But this is going to soon be replaced. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we're in the works of switching to a different platform where we can actually, as we're live right here, we can actually go live on the channel and don't have to worry about getting slapped down by, you know, Facebook or YouTube or whatever, what have you. If you're sick and tired of having your content, now I'm talking about the video content like this one. If you're having trouble or sick and tired of Facebook telling you that you're violating code, or going on TikTok that you're violating their freaking community guidelines and headlines and all that stuff, come to the Wet Network. It's going to be unlimited channels, and that you get your fair share of your content. Basically stating that when your content is on the Wet Network, there's not going to be no 30%, 20% of revenue that we receive and that we give y'all, whatever. It's a 50-50 split. Yes, you heard right. It's a 50-50 split, where we have one side where we actually have commercials and sponsors and the on-demand services without the commercials. Now you say, where do we make our money? Both. From subscriptions to the commercials. It's split 50-50 with the content creator. You can leave at any time and you can come back at any time. Now, we had 2 or 3 shows on about how the Wet Network is going to be and all that stuff. But I'm telling y'all, this time, when we look like we're going to have to keep showcasing these shows, so we can tell y'all content creators that we understand your pain, we understand what y'all going through, but with the Wet Network, you don't have to worry about that no more. It's time for you to get rightfully paid for your content, and also to go out and have the world see it, where you don't have to be judged by Facebook or YouTube. You don't have to always have a comment section full of trolls sitting there saying how bad this is and all that stuff. No. The easy thing they could do is tune in or go to a different channel. That's it. We are breaking the barriers and we are changing the status quo of content on the internet. So I don't care if you got a cooking show to having a show like this. Hit us up. Find our Facebook page, Fade to Black. Message us. Send us your content. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and we will set up a meeting and we will talk to you. And we will see to it that your content is put out to the world and it's on your own rules. We just provide the platform. And that's what it's all about. My boy Beast got the music. Me, I just got the content like this. Live streaming, food, maybe even hunting. I don't care. Your content deserves to be put out there without anybody or any entity telling you what should and shouldn't go. That should be up to you. But once again, hit us up. Tell your friends about us. Tell your friends about the Wet Network. Just go like Fade to Black, message us, tell us about your content, schedule a meeting with us, and we will talk business. It's time to change the status quo. And if you really want to see what we're all about, go to our channel. But ladies and gentlemen, things are going to get better from here. I'm telling you. I don't want you to look back on this day, on this video, and be like, Beeson Alamonte mentioned this. They said this. They was preaching this the whole entire time, and we didn't take advantage. In the words in the military, don't be that guy or girl. I mean that. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the show. But we got some bills to pay, and we will be right back. And like that, we are back. So I want to jump into the China buying up Africa.
But
If you get to
if
yeah.
before we do that, I'd like to elaborate just a little bit more on the wet network,
Oh, go ahead.
because when you speak about monetization, to all you content creators, especially you YouTube afflicted content creators who have to maneuver and change and alter your approach in order to still gain some kind of monetary gain from their structure. Bring your ass over here, because if it was working before they started turning into bitches, it'd keep working after it. Because we forget this is America. Everything generates money. Pictures of my feet generate money. So to demonetize something is just un-American. And that's not the America my forefathers were brought over here and forced to build. No. If you can get $1 off of it, you gonna do it. And me personally, I am a fan of the dark and macabre. So I love shit about demons and old world lore and even serial killers. I like to know how crazy you white folk are. So I know how to spot you out. Bring your ass to Wet Network.
Hmm?
We gonna make sure you get paid off of it. Cause somebody gonna watch.
Yeah. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, I mean it's as simple as that. Like I said, like hashtag fade to black, message us, and we can go from there. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Hmm.
Because I realize a lot of businesses that start small like us, and once they start getting the status for themselves, once was easy to talk to, now all of a sudden you got to go through these loops and all that stuff.
And
You
look,
never
I'll
want to
even
change.
help you. I help you content creators out there. You black folk out there, I want somebody to help me do a documentary series on horror movies. Back up, sir. A white man's apology to the blacks. Hear me out. Talk about all horror movies. Yeah, we usually die first, but who die worse?
Good question.
And who die silly? We die on some humbug. Like you got to catch us slipping. They die on some, come on now, my nigga. Really? Really? That's how they die. Maybe it's just me, but that's one thing I've always thought about when it came to horror movies. That's why I love them. Seeing silly white people die horribly for shit they had no business doing in the first fucking place. Sign me up, baby.
Shoot. And with that being said, like I said, just share us up on our Facebook page, Fade to Black, message us, and we can go from there.
Yes.
So, continuation from the show from yesterday that really hit me that I didn't realize what was going on. China buying up Africa. Now, on hindsight, on the surface, it may look great because you got some poor countries
No.
within Africa.
No.
Well, how about this? On a capitalistic
No.
type of way, it's good.
No. Not even that. And this is the white man in me speaking. This is the entitled white man in me speaking. There's nothing good about that. You know why? Because it's already been stated over the last 3 decades that the next great civilization, or as I like to say, the restart of time, will be China. Technologically speaking, they're already above everybody. They got some shit that's only in their area. Nobody, you have to go there to get it or be slick about having it sent here. But they still got shit that's only there. It will never leave there. I don't care how much money you got. They got a certain technology that you can buy, but it still won't leave their land.
But see, that also begs the question too for them doing this endeavor with Africa. You know,
They're
if
doing what America been doing. They're doing what they're doing what the Europeans did.
yeah, and I'm not
Because see,
saying that they're not.
before the Europeans did it their way, old school mentality, Darwinism, survival of the fittest. Bitch, we the strongest and we the craziest.
Or
So
I could take it, or I could take it a step further. They're doing the things that America, even though America still got their foothold in Africa, that look, they're not even treating you. They treat you like they treat their black people in America. You work with us and you take our money and we will give y'all that pedestal. We will give y'all that platform to do
at
what
least we
y'all
give
want
you
to
that
do.
respect.
Right. We give you the respect and all this money. All this money
Mm-hmm.
for all your communities to try and all that stuff. But one caveat to that. We'll bring our people, we'll bring all of our resources and all that stuff. That's the agreement. That all the resources that you have here, we can use it all at our leisure. And rather than whoever nation in Africa that was doing this deal, rather than saying that, okay, but here's the catch, we would take majority, we would take your loan, but whatever y'all find, you're only gonna get 10% of it. And we take care of the rest. Because on the
No, I
show
would do
on
one
Monday,
better.
on the show on Monday, they actually have contractors, foreign contractors, to actually come into these nations, and whatever they find, all the resources that they find in the nation, they're taking 90%, and 10% is going to the nation itself. And
Yeah,
so
which
I
is
don't
dumb.
know whatever. It's like, what's the negotiating going on here? Well,
Because the
what's going on?
negotiation is under the premise that it's 50-50 if you knew what this shit was and what it could do. So because you don't know what it is, even if you know it, you don't know the true extent of what it is, and you don't know the true capabilities of it. So that tax on the additional 40%, however you want to maneuver it. 20 for the ignorance of its existence, 20 for the ignorance of its capitalistic use.
Yeah, I think it's crazy when the person that's actually trying to get their resource to try and get something out you is the one taking majority of the benefit.
Because
That's
they
crazy.
look at it like, because once again go that ignorance of knowledge, because you don't know what this shit really is, and because you don't know what the fuck it can really do. And I have to spend more time here properly getting this shit out here in a manner. I have to waste more time playing down the significance of it to get all that I can out of it. So I need to be compensated.
Right. Because I think it's crazy
you're
because
lu-
we
you're you're lucky. No, you got to think like I said, most shit can be explained historically. You just got to think about the basis of it. It honestly came down from something like the iron or something very essential to day living now, and its original use was almost as a novelty. So it was like y'all don't even know what the fuck this shit is. You know that's like seeing some kids play around with fresh, crisp $100 bills, folding them and just making airplanes with them. Y'all don't know what this is. Let me hold that from you, but it's mine. Okay, if you let me get this, I'll let you get something that sounds just as good but better to you locally. Excuse me. You not
let's
knowing this is for excuse me. Pollen was out here for killing me.
I
But
agree. See, you could have just said it was bullshit for what China
no,
is doing.
it's definitely bullshit. But
Yeah, because
it's nothing but an example that gonna show that America as a great society is on its decline, globally speaking. We already kind of internalized that thought amongst ourselves when it comes to the internal civilization. But our external reach amongst the world, this is a clear designation that the decline is not imminent, is currently happening. Now, we're not talking like Greece and Rome, where it's a whole bunch of fucking artifacts and shit like that. We're not talking like that. We're talking more like Egypt. Still there. Still notable. Still surviving. But they ain't the great civilization they once was. But they still here.
Mm-hmm. So
they better off than the other ones.
Right.
That's what we're going to end up being.
But see, the sad thing for me is when you hold up my phone, my girlfriend just wrote me. I'll write it later. So my thing is this: we got Pan-Africans here in the States that always talk about Africa, that we should leave Africa and all that stuff. But then we have Africans in Africa that comes from Africa that come over here to get a better life. Now you're probably wondering why you're breaking that up. With this happening in Africa, it hurts my heart. It hurts my soul, because when I think about strength of the black man, black woman, you think about Africa, our roots, where our ancestors come from the nations, whatever where your lineage, come from either one of those nations. And did you hearing that? I won't say, I think saying sell out is a very derogatory term in this case.
Assimilated.
Right. That are doing these loans and having the Chinese basically come in and just run roughshod over the nation. Like I said, I keep referring back to the previous show, which I should tune into that show, where even Teach said that she went into these nice communities where there won't no people from that nation building on these homes, or because I think she went to a subdivision, but I'm also guessing that they probably don't have the people from that nation working on like building up businesses and all that stuff. They were Mexican. And the freaking signs where where it says welcome to this neighborhood, or like speed limit signs, they were all in Chinese. Now here in freaking Seattle is very diverse. They have Chinatown here. They will have it in their language, but under it will have English. Obviously, they don't even have it in that nation's language. So it really hurts my soul. And I know the Pan-African community and also the Black conscious community is probably like, man, what the F is going on in Africa? I expect that to happen here in the States, but Africa? So now it kind of, right. So now you gotta think to yourself, like, if you're a Pan-African, now you gotta be thinking in your mind, like, what now? Like, what we gonna do? Because right now the mother country is being taken over by somebody else. I'm not saying I think it's majority of the country that's actually doing that. I think it's a couple that said no, but majority of Africa is shaking the hands of China and saying that, hey, come on in, just keep the money coming in, keep the money flowing. We all good,
because they see what everybody else sees. So they see this as this is like, once again, it's almost like history repeating itself on a weird level. I wouldn't be surprised if apartheid talks or that just terminology started popping back up afterwards, just especially after you giving that example of seeing Chinese directions, Mandarin in Africa. That's a hard one to pull. Portuguese, Spanish, French, Dutch, German, English. Did I say French?
Oh yeah.
All those believable. Mandarin, Chinese, Laos, Japanese. in Africa? Yeah, you're gonna have to show me what tribe that was. Historically, like what war was that when they came over and took over? That's what somebody gonna be thinking if they just randomly saw a Google picture of that. Like, or what alternate Earth did the Japanese pull of Nazis? But that's easily what could happen, though. That's like easily what could happen.
And
once
honestly,
you see that they're about to be the you could, because I said they're about to be the next big superpower. They already got the people. They've been had people. But now they got the technology. They got the technology and they got the production, manpower, productivity to really put everybody else on notice. So if they wanted to be like America, they got the weight to pull it off right now. So and they flexing right now.
And I'm not gonna say the African leadership is weak because obviously we both don't live there.
No, it's westernized.
Right, and it's crazy. They're looking like, I know Mayo. See, these are times when Mayo need to be on the show. Mayo.
No, what we need to do is, because Mayo is about the movement, but that money is needed for the movement. So that money comes first.
But the thing is, those leaders in Africa of these nations, prime ministers, are starting to become like the black ones here that get in these positions, and they supposed to look out for our interests, and they just basically just fold. I want to say
because they have become westernized, meaning monkey see, monkey do. Monkey see the American political niggas getting money like this, so the African monkey gonna do the same.
And that's crazy to me, and it just hurts my soul that this is actually happening. Like, Africa is literally up for sale, but right now I think China is the highest bidder. They already won their auction. Soon enough, I'm a predict, and damn it,
Africa has always been up for sale since the first fucking white person landed his ass up there and figured I could get some kind of profit off these niggas and what they had and where they live at. Always been up for sale, but it's always been a turf war. Now you got the cartels, because that's what China is considered as far as like how they move and compared to everybody else. They're a cartel. Cartels are a little more smooth because they're a lot more ruthless. Because they could easily just come through and bum rush all this shit and shut America down real quick. But they not. They finessing everybody. They finessing it. They, like you said earlier, they ain't respecting y'all. They been come through here just raping y'all like some old side project bitch that you ain't never gonna marry. They spitting that game to them. Like, look, at least come fuck with us. You know where the stuff is going, because peak game, they take it from y'all and then they sell it to us. So why don't you just sell it to us? Cut them out the picture. Just sell it to us, because it's coming over here anyway.
Right.
We got to use it to make the stuff we so like, look, peak game. You sell it to us. We'll cut y'all somewhere 20 to 40, make it sound a little bit better. 20% sounds better than 10, so 20 to 40%. So in that range, plus all the new technology that we dump out, we'll do the opposite of what America do. We'll give y'all the first. We give y'all the fresh first. Then we'll give them all the shit that we know gonna bug out. We'll give you all the clean tech.
But
that's how you finesse. That's how you got it. How else? How honestly, in history, in Africa, other than violence on a coordinated scale, how else could you get the majority of the African countries to agree on one thing? I don't have a watch, but I'm waiting. And anybody watching, feel free to chime in. Please with a link if you got one.
We be waiting because I don't have that answer.
And we only good for 2 hours, so if we can continue this wait, and this will be like the greatest Pootie Tang song ever. Point being, it ain't happening. So you see what's like hood niggas, if hood niggas really paid attention to what was going on in the news, they would be the first ones to come up with the situation. Because if you sold any kind of dope, because if you sell any kind of dope, on any level, for more than 6 months to a year, you can take your ass into a boardroom and own a quarterly review. Because you already understand the game of corporate business without even understanding it's corporate business. But how you operate in the dope game, that's exactly how they treat they subordinates and they fellow co-workers. They just smoothing it out and doing it in a manner that they don't even realize. But because you from that level and you know how to do that type of shit, you peep game and this is just a new way to play spades. Oh, this must be the Chi-Town way. Oh shit, nigga, I'm from Mississippi. We do a little different, but I can get with it. I can get with it.
But also, I wonder what is Africa getting out the deal? These nations in Africa is getting out the deal.
I just told you.
Ugh.
I'm not being cocky, but I'm using common sense and available information.
That's crazy, man. Because I would be thinking if I was cutting the deal and knowing what China has, I would have been like, all right, so when my people go over to China, I don't want them to come back, stressing or saying that you treat them wrong because this deal is going to be off.
Because you know why? If I recall correctly, most of those blacks or Africans that had issues were from strong westernized African countries whose inhabitants have also migrated over here, like Nigeria and Niger and Ghana. We have a lot of them over there. So there is that American perception that is plagued upon you when you travel into other countries. And just how we got a perceptional opinion when it comes to Nigerians, and even other Africans have a similar view when it comes to Nigerians. You think folk over in China ain't gonna have a similar chance?
That's true.
So I do understand that, but you got to really look at what's going on, because, like I said, some areas just got just like niggas in America got bad raps. Some countries, some Africans in certain African countries, they just got a bad rep right now. Nigerians are one of them. I don't think anybody's really faithful. I don't think anybody can really be like, yo, like they fuck with Nigerians, but they fuck with Nigerians that they don't even know are Nigerians. Because if you ask them what they know about Nigerians, I heard they slick talking and they shiesty. Them motherfuckers are scammy. Then you find that your best friend of 27 years is full Nigerian. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true.
Yeah, that is. But the news, hopefully we continue getting the news on this and seeing how far that China, let's see how this all works out, because right now, like we're the outside, we on the outside looking in. Maybe it's going to help Africa stride and all that, but who knows? Who knows?
Like I said, the technological benefit is a great aspect. I would feel like this. When you start hearing talks of specifically areas like Nigeria, due to the Nollywood cinema scene, if you start seeing areas like that, there's I think like two more other ones that are more like rural. they're kind of like parody-ish, but they're still good though. They're still sincere with their effort. Meaning, if you start seeing Chinese invest money in those endeavors and those industries, then yeah, they're like I stated before, they're setting up to be the next great superpower, and they figure the first thing we need to do is secure the bag or the trap house, and that's Africa, because that's where all the dope is, all the minerals, all the goods, everything that America needs. I mean, needs.
We're gonna have control.
Africa is America's wallet. It's got all our essential information. If we lose fucking Africa, we are shit out of luck. No ID, no wallet, no money, no bank card, no credit card, no social security card, no goddamn card that they gave you for your high school diploma. All that's gone. And you don't know what number to call to replace it.
Ain't that something? And speaking of that, we're gonna go take a commercial break, and we get to talk about this Joe Budden situation. I was looking forward to doing that on Monday, but now we get to do it right now. So
it's gonna be interesting.
Let's go ahead and jump into these commercials, and we will be right back. So now let's jump into this Joe Budden situation. So apparently, this has been going on. I think this story is getting stranger and stranger, because it went from two of his co-hosts, them having the beef, them having some off-air issues. Then they was going to get counseling. Then after that, Joe Budden just said, F y'all, I fire both of you. And then another person, I don't think she worked alongside him. I think she had another podcast.
Yeah, it's like I was just watching something on it prior to the show. It just the big issue with Joe Budden is his lack of respect and acknowledgement. And you could be a self-centered piece of shit and people still fuck with you. But it's all about how you go about it. And his constant thread has been this grandiose view of himself. As if everything, he acts like a European knight from the Crusades, as if everything he does has already been absolved by God, so he cannot sin. Therefore, he can do no wrong. That's how he conducts himself.
All right, so let's jump to the chase. He's a one-hit wonder. What was the song anyway? Was it the After Party?
Pump it up.
That was him, actually. Oh snap!
Yeah.
See, but see, a lot of people ain't gonna understand that Joe Budden was a one-hit wonder. Does he actually have enough skin in the game to critique rappers and hip hop stars? I say yeah. You know,
No, he has
for
enough. No, he has enough
knowledge.
experience. No, experience in association, meaning he's been in the game and been amongst a plethora of people to the point to where
He knows the
his
inside now.
no anything he says holds some merit and is worth an analysis.
But I mean, it's no
Because
different than
most people, well, no,
yeah.
because it's a difference between like it's a difference between like QT, no TQ from Cash Money versus somebody like Royce the 5'9". When you're
I
just speaking
mean,
about pure association,
I mean, it also.
who they built themselves around. Royster, he say something, you'll take more weight to what he say versus TQ.
But I mean, it's no different than like a NFL player that barely got any playing time who got the job on ESPN to a
But what
analyst
teams
that
he play?
actually was
But what
right.
they gonna ask? What teams did he play for? And what time frame? Because as long as he was
start?
as long as he was on as long as he was on a Super Bowl team, either the year before or year after.
Not per se, because you got
You
got
at
this
least like hear him. You hear like at least hear him out.
Yeah, I mean,
like most motherfuckers won't even really like go into detail. As well. Oh yeah, he played for the Patriots. Oh word.
Right, but
yeah, you know he played for the Patriots for like 10 seasons. Oh word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you got
people.
I mean, but then you got people up on there that was with garbage teams. Like I've got his name, Dan Guzowski, whatever the heck his name is. He played for the Detroit Lions, and he was the one quarterback who infamously ran at the back of the end zone and got the other team a safety. So I'm not putting Joe Budden in that category, but I mean, like he doesn't. Only thing he got that one hit. He doesn't have any gold or platinum albums or anything to follow that up. That's why I'm saying
only
by
true notoriety outside of his lyrical contributions are mediocre at best individually, but his lyrical skill and choice of content was passable enough to kind of keep him on the fringe as somebody that could be notable but could also be forgettable. Because he was like an emo rapper. He was your emo kid. So he was the one of the first rappers to really talk about self-medication and really being a fucking addict and being fucked up in your head. And knowing that you are pretty much a piece of shit. He was one that was really honest with himself and others.
Right, so and then what
they give you lane.
Yeah, and then what rejuvenated his career was Love and Hip Hop
Slaughterhouse. No, Slaughterhouse rejuvenated his career. Slaughterhouse rejuvenated his career, but Love and Hip Hop changed his career. And gave him an opportunity to do what you're doing now.
I give you that to an extent because nobody didn't know who Joe Budden was. Joe Budden was like kind of like a fart in the wind, if you think about it. And then when Love and Hip Hop came up, it was like, oh snap. Because they do that introduction. Yeah. And then he do his introduction, you'd be like, that was you that made that song. Or did some people like, damn, Joe Budden, we ain't seen you in a hot minute. You looking good. But I mean, not going to knock the man's not to knock the man's hustle, because what he did to Consequence in the show, Consequence, who's also another notorious New York star who is also battling stage 4 cancer. Hopefully, I haven't heard anything about his condition.
Prayers.
My blessing goes out to him and his family. But they had a beef. And I could just tell that Joe Budden and how Joe Budden was explaining the beef. Now y'all can go back to the reunion show, or y'all can just watch the show and see how that beef started. How he just so nonchalant about, like, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, I did that, but you gotta look at yourself.
But listen,
you make me do it.
This is Joe Budden. Yeah, I slapped that bitch.
Yeah,
but that bitch fucking knew better than say that shit to my face. That's Joe Budden.
Yeah,
what he did, blase, pass over. They shouldn't have never put him in that position.
Yeah, and
that's the type of narcissistic motherfucker he is.
And then when he got the show, what was it called? No, Sam Hip Hop was the one that he had with Remy Ma and the others. What was the one that he did with DJ Academics?
Was it Everyday Struggles or something like that?
Everyday Struggle. Yeah, Everyday Struggle. That's what it was. And it's funny that they put those two together because
like neither one of them has anything of value to me personally. So no, I've never honestly engaged in the podcast career of Joe Budden. But outside the show was whatever notable bullshit he says that's soundbite worthy.
But the show became successful. I won't say because of Joe Budden, but I have to put, DJ Academics up on there because you got basically two mediocre people. You got DJ Academics. His rise to fame was he liked to just spur out rumors rather than just going on the source. And not to mention, he was a big, excuse my language, dick rider for Tekashi 6ix9ine. And that's what's his claim to fame. Then not to mention, he got a Twitch channel, which we on Twitch. Hi, everybody on Twitch. He also got a Twitch channel where he get to exploit more of these ideas, where he also interview up-and-coming hip-hop stars. Well, I won't say hip-hop stars, rappers. And then you got Joe Budden, who's been in the game, critiquing all these songs. And the position that Joe Budden would take, I would actually agree. For anybody who watched Everyday Struggles, Everyday Struggle was one of the complex, popular shows, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. Everyday Struggle, every time you think about complex, you thought about Everyday Struggle. And Joe Budden, when he was critiquing these songs that was coming out during the run of the show, he always went at an old school approach. And I honestly like that because he's basically saying for this new genre, y'all forget majority of what hip hop is all about. You just can't sit there and just put whatever you want on it and just consider it hip hop. And DJ Academics was on the line of like, look, these new kids are coming up with something new, and the old heads got to give them. I won't call them old heads, but the old cats need to start giving these young kids props because they're the future. And so I like that dynamic, but majority of the time, I always agree with Joe Budden.
That's when niggas talk about disco.
Right. And so, like I said, majority of the arguments, to tell y'all the truth, ladies and gentlemen, I have not watched the show from beginning to end. I just watched the viral video and the snippets that they put on YouTube. I'm going to keep it real. I'm keeping 100 with you. But still, majority of the time, when Joe Budden gave his view on these rappers, because majority of the time, sometimes he would be like, do these rappers actually live that life that they talk about? And the answer is no.
Hell no.
Right. So all these things that they're singing about and doing all that stuff, Joe Budden was like, are you about it? If I take you to, I'm paraphrasing.
Which is a valid question. It's a valid question.
And I'm paraphrasing. So he's saying, basically, if you sit there saying, I had to click, clack, and bang my way up through, my whole entire life and all that stuff, can I take you out your environment? Take you to the hood with the environment that you're spewing on you in your music? Will you be about it? Are you about it? That's it. But you got people like DJ Academics who just sit there and saying that these guys are the next, Fab Five Freddy or the next Houdini, the next LL Cool J's of the world. And it's just like, no. You got to have a thing called substance. You got to be about what you're saying. You got to be about what you're rapping about. That's what hip hop is all about.
if you say you do some shit, here's a little bit of human nature for everyone out here. Men, by nature, are extreme men and male species all around, no matter the genus, no matter the sentient level. We are territorial and we are competitive by subconscious genetic disposition. We will always feel some kind of subconscious need. No matter how beta of a bitch nigga you are, you're still territorial and you're still competitive. That will always be within us.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Yeah, so with the success of that show, and then I think they went through two female hosts. Then the female host and Joe Budden started to have issues.
That was because the female thing was him. It all boils to him thinking too highly of himself. And go back to what I stated earlier, acting as if he has absolved sin.
Right.
So when it comes to the female, he really looking like, well, everybody's here because of me. Like all this, he's having a David Ruffin moment. Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis. You ungrateful sons of bitches. It's David Ruffin in the Temptations. It's Joe Budden and the rest of you niggas. That's how he think. That's how he live 24/7.
And that's
so
yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, but and then going back to Complex, he was in his contract year. And Complex was going to give him the amount of money that he was asking for. Who knows what he was being hexed for? And
no, that's it. That's his MO. That's his MO. He feels as though no matter what situation he's in, it should always be on him. And that's why his relationships have always didn't pan out, because he one of them niggas that want a bad bitch, but he still want to be the bad bitch in the relationship because he want all eyes on him. So when more eyes are on her than him, now it's an issue in the relationship. Now his bullshit and insecurity start popping up. The same thing revolves into his business aspects. That was his dealings with Shady and the whole slaughterhouse. Came time for one, like you said with Complex, came time for the second album, renegotiations for another deal. If you weren't feeling some kind of way, you should have handled that shit. Like, nigga, you had checked out before all that shit went down, and this is coming from the mouth of Crooked I. Pretty much stating that, hey, you knew you weren't going to do it. You could have said something to us behind closed doors, handled the shit like a man, but you chose to get on some rah-rah ignorant bullshit. Same way when it comes to the podcast with Roy and Mal. That whole deal was, it's all business. Like if me and Donnell got a 50-50 deal. It's 50-50 down the fucking middle. I don't care if I get signed tomorrow, next year, I go fucking 20 times platinum. And the Wet Network has now taken over the BET network. We have just bought that shit out. Like it could only be synonymous with me. Our contract, our agreement states it's fucking 50-50. So at no time do I have any legal recourse to act in a manner to where I don't want to say that this shit is my idea, this shit is all because of me. And bitch, if I want to fuck you, you want my network. So if you really want to get a show on here, you need to show me what that mouth did. Because I'm Beast Johnson. I'm the god of Web Network. I created this shit like the Big Bang. That ain't what the contract said with me and Donnell, though.
Okay.
And when it comes to the contract, they had a contract that says we get paid off of, we get a fluctuating pay based off of sponsorships and external investments into the show. So the more sponsorship money you get, the bigger my cut. So I should have a right, Donnell, right? And you should have the right to ask at any moment, hey, can I peep the account? Can I peep the books real quick? Especially after hearing news of potential deals that would greatly cause an influx in your pay. You know, you want to go ahead and set yourself up right. There's nothing wrong about asking, right?
No. Heck no. And
but if I feel like Joe Budden, I'm going to act in the manner that we see him acting. Yeah, get flustered, get mad, and feel like, yo, you niggas wouldn't have this money if it wasn't for me. So how dare you ask me this?
Right. And now, which leads to the Joe Budden podcast, because then he signed a deal with Diddy's Revolt. He signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Revolt.
That's karma right there. That's karma like a motherfucker. You just fucked over your longtime real world homeboy and your longtime industry homeboy over money. And you sign a deal with a nigga that is infamously notorious, no pun intended, for fucking niggas over their funds. Niggas done went to the grave still owe money.
Mm-hmm. He went to him, signed a deal. But for a while he was doing the Joe Budden show on the side too as well when he was with Everyday Struggle. So let me correct that. So he was doing his little podcast on the side on YouTube. But when everything fell through with Everyday Struggle, which they replaced them with Star, I don't want to touch on that because we're talking about Joe Budden. Then Diddy said, hey, we want to sign your show onto Revolt. And I think he still is with Revolt. And his show was Diddy, right? Yeah, he signed with Diddy on Revolt.
Oh, then he's still on Revolt. I don't care if Revolt don't ever come on again for the next 700 years. He's still signed to Revolt. He signed a contract with Diddy, nigga.
Yeah, he's on with Revolt. And so with Revolt, then his show, now to be fair, his show was popular even before signing with Revolt. But putting him on Revolt just made him even more popular, which led to the deal with Spotify. Now, the crazy thing is, when Spotify gave him the deal, his was the biggest deal before they signed Joe Rogan. So let's just be clear for everybody to understand. Joe Rogan it didn't start with Joe Rogan being signed with Spotify, where Spotify was like, hey, we're going to give you this $100 million contract for you to have your content and continue to produce your content on our platform, solely on our platform. They did that with Joe Budden. Joe Budden first. So that's not that out of the way. So that's a big first for Joe Budden. So his show was so his show was getting popular. And then he had another show. I think it's called State of Hip Hop. I think that's what it's called. And I know it was him and Remy Ma, and then it was two other people. But I just remember Remy Ma being on the show because I knew that he did that show mainly for her. Because Remy Ma got skin in the game too, minus her being in prison during her time of her career, during the height of her career.
She got clout for that. Ain't a bitch in the game got more street cred than Remy Ma, and I dare you like Charlie Murphy to think of a name. Whatever pop gum entertainer Barbie doll you thinking of could not hold a candle to Remy Ma.
Oh no, she bodied freaking what's her phrase? Nicki Minaj. Why you think Nicki Minaj retired like she did? I don't give a damn what anybody says.
Let's be real. Now, not to make fun of the meme, but it's the truth. Remy Ma was the first female real enough to say, "Nigga, you gonna eat my pussy while I drive." Oh, gotta in the
And look,
video, nonetheless. Like, nigga, get down there. I'm gonna rap my verse. Yeah, get down there. Mm-hmm.
and then not to mention,
Lean back, nigga. Lean back. Lean back, nigga. It's like,
and then and look at who our man is. Papoose.
Papoose. Black Piccolo.
The most underrated New York rapper. I would say this.
No,
the most
underrated rapper, period.
Of all time. Yeah, of all time. Papoose
he is the AI. Papoose is the AI hip hop. He may not be your favorite, but he's your respected favorite.
Yes. And people was like, well, you know, that's how Remy might get her bars from. I'm like, so?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all.
Remy was getting hard long before she was fucking with that nigga.
Right, and even if she went to Papoose to get some bars, I'm like, okay. I mean, he's supposed to support his woman as well as she's supposed to support him. I don't see no freaking anything
this
wrong
is Black
with that.
Piccolo we talking about here.
Right. I mean,
I ain't saying it because he kind of look like him. I'm saying because he's the realest. He's the realest nigga in the world. Like, he's so real. He don't belong on this planet. That's why I call him Black Piccolo. You got to be from another earth, bro.
Look, I'm gonna tell you about Papoose that really got my respect for him when she was out. Yeah. I mean, even that remix he did with Busta Rhymes for Bust It, that his verse was one of the hardest ones.
Oh, the Five Hands in New York?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Nigga, that's fucking classic. That's some Slick Rick shit.
He was the first one, and he ripped it. I mean, he ripped that.
That's the verse that made me be like, like, I'm getting you a fan, no, but I respect the fuck out that nigga. Why? Because listen to that. You hear that nigga wordplay describing the 5 boroughs of New York on the hat.
Mm-hmm. Look, I'm gonna tell you this. What really respect me for Papoose is for 2 things. One, he held it down for Remy Ma when she was in prison. He held it down. Number 2,
took care of his and hers.
Look, anytime when Remy Ma was going through something, I think it was one episode, anybody can correct me when I was wrong, where she literally called him up because she was like, I'm about to bury this bitch over here. Come get me. Come on, bro. She was on parole during that time.
I'm on the way. Like, I'm on the way.
And even though they patched things up, he still showed up like, yo, what's up? What's good? It won't know, baby, let's go. He was like, no. Who?
That was good.
Yeah, it was like, who?
Please tell me it's a nigga. Like, please tell me it's a nigga so I can hit somebody.
Because Papoose that dude. I said, you know what? If I could be like anybody when it comes to my woman, I want to be like Papoose. I want to just go up there. I don't care who it is. If my baby, only thing she gotta do is call and be like, baby. I'm like, what? You know what? Where you at? Where you at?
This how real this man was at her sentencing. She almost called extra time because of this nigga. Because he loved her so much. He went and got her some state-approved jewelry that she'd be able to wear in there. And it had like a little novelty key. They saw the key, and it was small enough to be mistaken at a glance for possible handcuff keys. And they snatched his ass up and was like, he was trying to help her escape. This nigga almost caught some time at her sentencing, and she almost caught extra time just because I love you. But imagine this, as a black man, going into a prison to see your woman be sentenced, taking a gift that you know she can have, but an additional key that you know at any given fucking moment can be mistaken and then presumed as a potential escape plan. But fuck it, that's my baby.
Yeah. I mean, I know in his mind, he was like,
That's
right.
love. That's old school love. That's 50s love.
Yeah, because I know, I think for any man, they will be like, I want to switch places with my woman. If he had the chance to do that, he would have. Even though she probably would say, no, baby, let me start my time. Like, no, I'm serving this for you. And I believe any man would want to do that. But we kind of got off track. We kept talking about Papoose and Remy Ma, but Joe
Papoose,
Budden.
I just want to say this. I want to say this real quick, just because it's real. Papoose looked like the type of real nigga that only cuss at his woman when it need to be done, like in a horror movie. Yes. Like, run. Huh? Bitch, run!
Yeah.
Like, he that type of dude. You ain't never heard him cuss. He's just like, get in the house, bitch. Some shit about to go down. If he ever cusses his woman, some shit about to go down.
He's that one, and then this is my last one on Papoose. He was that type of husband, because they're married. He was that kind of husband where it looks like she's running things, but
he's just real cool with it.
Right, he's cool with it. But then when he knows that she's about to get out of line, and his voice, it's just like the tone in his voice when he's like, I think you need to stop. She stops. And then everybody knows, like, oh, okay, we know who's we know what he
got a shadow. We got a shadow marriage over here. I see.
Right. We know who. We know who really runs the relationship. I'm not saying that he runs the relationship, but when he needs to put his foot down, just because he's just tapping his feet, don't think he won't put that foot forcefully down and just be like, look, you had a little too much. You said too much. Keep your mouth shut.
Jangle them keys. Look here. We can leave.
Right. not only just that. He just be like, look here. That house is in my name. How about this? You can have that house. You can kick me out the house all you want to. But remember, the other 5, my name. That car you got, that I got you, my name.
I say, I leave. A, everything in my name. And B, if I leave, I give you 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months. Yeah, 6 months before I take my name off all that shit. And then you got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
It's funny. It's funny. Me and my girlfriend actually talked about that, and she was like, "Yeah, you gonna be sleeping outside." I said, "Outside where?" I said, "Outside my room." And she was like, "No, out on the street." I said, "That house is my name."
Lies you tell.
You got me fucked up. I said,
I'll be outside in the tiny home I had built for the backyard for when you on your bullshit.
Mm-hmm. I told her, she said, you better see.
And that bitch got Wi-Fi and a 72-inch TV. Fuck out of here.
I told her, I said, the only man cave I'm gonna have is up in that when you sleeping up on the second floor in the room, and I'm on the and I'm downstairs, I'm sleeping down the couch. Guess what? That's my domain. So when I see you up in my kitchen, I'm gonna be like, what you think you doing? Get my food. You better put that motherfucker back. You kick me out the room. I said, that's up there. I said, you better invest into a small little refrigerator. You better start making some little grocery shops and keep all the food up there, because you're right. I'm out the room. But guess what? Down here, my domain. But once again,
I think I stashed some Starburst on my side of the bed. I don't know. I don't know. I was high. They might not be there, but they might.
they might be.
You better hope.
Because everything in that refrigerator, you ain't getting. I don't care if you try to get
my Sam's card. You bought with my Sam's card and my name from the accountant. My name.
Right.
See, man, that's how you do. Get your paper
trail. Get some more. And guess what? I pay for this water bill too. So you know what that means? You better go 7-Eleven. That's right up the street.
We ladies, we joke. We joke.
We joke until we actually have to do it, but we joke.
There you go. You took the words right out of my. Yeah. See, that's why we joke with each other.
Yeah, right there.
East Coast with ladies.
I'm telling you. We joking. But tell y'all,
serious. We reserve the right.
Put it like that. But let's go ahead and go back on this Joe Budden, because we were on to talk about Remy Ma and them.
Because you need to. Because Joe Budden is if anything from this whole Joe Budden situation has taught us, Joe Budden is taxing on the spirit.
Yes, he is.
As entertaining and engaging as he is, due to his candor and his conduct, very marketable. Excuse me, very entertaining for the masses, very soundbite worthy.
Yes, I'll give it say random, but I say random is not a word that does justice. Soundbite is much better.
But nonetheless, I'll use drug terminology. I'd rather deal with a quiet, insecure, possibly suicidal master chemist who can remake cocaine from scratch to be at least 97% pure versus an arrogant, loudmouth narcissist who could give me a strong 94% when they're bullshitting, and I could get the 99 to 100, but it's going to take time and unnecessary effort on my part. Who you think I'm going to go for? The arrogant asshole or the insecure suicide freak?
That's a good question.
Business-wise. Let's speak business-wise here, people. Let's speak business-wise. All I really got to deal with on the suicide boy, I just got to encourage him every now and then. Hey, you're doing an awesome job, man. Yo, fucking love what you're doing here. Keep it up. That shit's free. Versus the extra security, extra eyes, extra money I have to invest on this fucking uncontrollable speed freak over here that at any given moment might try to rape one of my clients. Because he feel like if I don't make this dope, she ain't gonna buy it. So bitch, you might as well suck my dick. That's bad for business.
It goes back to what you said earlier. He just believed in his own hype, and he just don't realize. He just don't realize that he had two other players, supposedly his friends, that also made the show what it is, what it was.
The numbers prove. Everybody want to talk about numbers. The numbers proven that when he started the brand of Joe Budden under the podcast endeavor, his true success and his true notoriety did not pick up until the inclusion of Roy and Mal.
Yeah.
And once that chemistry was established, the numbers truly spoke to what he was doing. Because it was a balance. You had somebody that agreed, but you also had somebody that knew enough and had enough rapport. You had two individuals that had enough rapport with him that could check him and be like, yeah, but you're still wrong. Yeah. And still move forward amicably.
Right, like how we do here on the panel. I never say I'm the one man show and y'all are a part of it. No, we contribute to this. We are hashtag Fade to Black. But Joe Budden was like, since the show is in my name, it should all be about me, and y'all just the supporting players. And sometimes he don't even treat him as that. Like who's the one that he always be dissing though? Who's the brother?
Mal.
Mal, okay, because Roy, he don't mess with Roy. Roy's kind of when they be talking, he's kind of like
Therese. It's two reasons why. That's why I go back to what I said earlier. Mal, black, real life homeboy. No Joe, the real nigga, the broke nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Roy, white guy who he met in the industry. White guy in the industry. I hope these words struck out in everyone's ear like they did in mine when I said it.
Yeah, because
there's your explanation for the dynamic.
Right, and the thing is majority of time is Miles and I don't know why I can say Biden. Budden. Usually they will kind of go at it when it comes to like critiquing music and the hot topics of the day, and Roy was kind of like the, guy on the outside looking in. He would have his like 2 cents to put up in there, but majority of the time he's watching them. He's hearing what they got to say. And I think sometimes they would have somebody have a fourth person up on it, but he's kind of off out the scene somewhat. But it always been Miles and Joe for me, because sometimes I just seem like Joe be going at Miles sometimes, even though Miles be saying some crazy stuff too, where I'd be like, yo, dude, you like, come on, man. Just because you got a mic in front of you, you got millions of people listening to you, watching you. Some things are better left unsaid. But Joe Budden.
Joe Budden's actions are definitely an example of that statement right there.
Right, and he be going at Miles. I'm like, sometimes I be like, yo, leave Miles alone, man. Like, there are times where he should go at him, but then there's majority of times he just come at him for no reason. It's like, I thought this is your homie. This is your dog. Majority of these days that you try to come at him for, that's something you should keep from behind the camera and away from the mics. And sometimes,
he's not that type of person.
Right. And I can look at the nervousness and the uneasiness of Roy watching this, because he wants to say something, but he knows if he says something, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, Joe Budden going to start coming at him, or 2, he's going to make it worse. And sometimes I understand that position, where
he sees what we see. This is not a professional dialogue. This is a personal discussion.
Right. And they just take Miles like off guard at times, because he just be looking like really? Like, hold up, wait a minute. Who pissing your cornflakes? It wasn't me. Like, why are you coming at me like that? This is my take. This is my view. We are on this show not to always agree, but understand why I see it this way, why my view is like this. But Joe just come at him like a damn ton of bricks. It's like, if you want to see Battleship, like a battleship in real life when it comes to people, that's it. He's sinking Miles' battleships for absolutely no reason, and Miles is not even gunning for him. It's just like,
because he's an insecure, self-medicated dopehead.
Right, and here's the thing: nobody know who Miles is. No disrespect.
Allegedly.
But
allegedly,
Miles,
he said it himself.
Yeah, but here's the thing: here, when Joe and Miles go at it, nobody don't know who Miles is outside of the Joe Budden podcast. You really have to, how could I say, know the behind the scenes much more about Miles's background to actually say, I know who he is, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody who's watching the show, just looking at snippets and all that stuff, when I turn on the YouTube, I said turn on YouTube. Look at it, turn on YouTube. I got a mouse here, ladies and gentlemen, and I just click on the one of their snippets of the show. I'm not instantly be like, yo, I know who that is. But now, since if I was an avid watcher of the show, I would just know Miles based upon the show. So what I'm saying is, it's just crazy to me that Joe Budden just come at this man, and let's say he trying to have a jump off the show, and you just ruining this man's credibility. You just sitting there just dogging this dude. He ain't gonna have no views or anything like that.
Because that's what he does.
And that's crazy. But I really want to continue this conversation on to Friday. Any last points? Because we got a community to visit. Mr. Beast?
No points on this. Joe Budden, do business better, sir. In this era of technology and damn near transparency, it serves no fiscal, financial gain to act in the manner that you've been acting. and are
No.
currently trying to backpedal from. Own up to it, my nigga. Acknowledge that shit. Accept it. That certain facets of your personality, some of us are just pieces of shit. You know, I'm a dick. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a dick. Hey, but I acknowledge that, and I know what my dickish qualities are. So I try to keep them away from people, or at least keep myself away from people when I find them flaring up. Because that's proper business. Not everybody wants to do business with a dick.
No. No. You be a damn fool. You say you want to work with a dick, but that's on you. But let's go on ahead. I'm gonna go ahead, jump in the car. I already got a full tank of gas. It's time to take a visit to Beast Community, presented by Sky Zone Society.
I want to continue with my community plea. As I spoke in the opening statements about the particular issue amongst the local artist scene in my city. And I want to speak about when community locals or community notables don't really engage with the community. We, as the artist scene in Greensboro, North Carolina, understand and acknowledge there are certain politics and practices that must be accomplished and must be done to truly maneuver in this industry. We just ask for a honest assessment and an honest list, if you will. Now, the truth being that all of us collectively don't give two shits about being on fucking local radio that plays the same goddamn 10 songs every fucking day, all day. So if you hear it in the morning, you could literally stop listening to it for 14 hours exactly, pop it back on, and damn near fall right back in line with the last beat you heard from the song. That's how often they play the same rotation. You would think they would be begging for some fresh material, because obviously the industry's not giving it to you. But I digress in that fact. As the community, when those that portray themselves as for the community don't truly engage with the community, it's up to the community to thin the herd. And if not thin the herd, establish means that force the hands of those so-called community notables. This is where the Wet Network comes in, and the means of video rotation and video placement. We'll be offering a digital server, if you will, an external hard drive for all local artists to upload their material, upload their visuals, so that when these so-called notables make the claims of no good music or no music worth listening to, we simply hand them a link. Go to this site where you could just type in Greensboro and see the current list of all Greensboro artists, as well as links to their corresponding music, both audio and visual. So before you make that claim and state that the issue is on us, make sure that the individuals you make this claim about are indeed the ill-equipped and uneducated that you presume us to be. Because I can surely guarantee you, sir, the vast majority of us are not. This ain't no shit we picked up doing because we saw that it was cool. This was shit we all been doing since fucking high school. Most of us been doing this since goddamn church. Came out the womb. I personally been doing music since I could walk and talk at age 2. I'm 37 now, so that give me 35 years worth of experience on you assholes. So I'd be damned if you tell me my music and any music I do ain't worth listening. And I got some numbers that would disagree with. So as the community, we will band together and we will give you that so-called music that you say is lacking and show you that your comments were indeed uneducated, ill-advised, and just all around stupid. Because the community is very sincere in their love for the Nobles. We love to see someone from the community to make it out and be prosperous, especially on a positive level. We get geeked for that shit. Like Free Folk Midnight. That's what you want to say. It's what you want to hear. See, my dog hype about it. Okay, I'm sorry. But what we cannot have is that same person that we feel so much love and respect and honor and turn around and then defame and belittle the main things that they themselves get money off of themselves. That don't work. No, we don't do that. You stupid. So once again, to all my fellow artists out there, not just locally in my neck of the woods, but all around that can see and hear this and have that urge and spark, come to the Wet Network. We are a community of motley crew-like individuals with a singular purpose of showcasing the world what we can do from our own personal perspective. Knowing that that's not a perspective that will truly please everyone, but it's not meant to please everyone. So come on down. And for you folk out there that got stuff and need people to see it, we'll be your one-stop shop. You won't have to give them several links to different videographers that you used over the years. Just give them one link to the Wet Network. All your videos will be right here with your current viewing statuses across all your streaming placements. See, that's what we're doing here. This is the community that we have. This is the community that we will engage and embrace. And this is the community that will help us strengthen our whole community, our racial community, our global community. So I hope you heard this plea, and I hope you feel inspired from these words. Please come to my community. Sit a spell. Sing a song. Bleed a little joy from your heart. Y'all come on back now. I yield the floor. Let's enjoy the rest of the show.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. Majority of the time during this show, my headphones wasn't working. I won't say working to the point I couldn't hear what Beast was saying and what was going on, but it was crazy. I finally got fixed. My final thought is the Wet Network, the Wet Network, the Wet Network. You have to be sick and tired of following in line with YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. I know that you got to be just mad where the revenue that's coming in, it starts with basically pennies on the dollar. If you're sick of that, the Wet Network is here for you. I know a lot of y'all got Patreon. That's great. But does it suck that they take part of your money? Just think about that. Even the services that they provide, you still have to pay. Here at the Wet Network, it's a 50-50 split. And, listen to this, and when you got sponsorship that's on your end, you keep all that. We don't touch it. But sponsorships through us that sponsors your show is a 50-50 split. But it should not be all about the profits neither. I know I put that out there so that it can get the wheels turning. And, I get that. So that's why I always bring that first. But it's all about producing your content and putting it out on the platform where you don't have to worry about one word saying this, or you offending this person, or you doing this, you doing that, and you keep getting flagged for community guidelines. What the hell is a community guidelines? No community has gotten together to make these guidelines up. Think about that. You don't have to worry about that with the Wet Network. You will work directly with us. You will have a direct chain of command to us to talk about how you want your content to be presented. And then also help you to keep producing your content on our platform. And you can leave at any time. And you can come back at any time. What other platform offers you that? Well, you can say, well, YouTube, you can have your channel, you can delete, you can come up. That's true. But you got to be approved to start making money. And if they see something that's unfit, they can take you off their profit program. They can take all the advertisements off your channel. Think about that. And then other places like TikTok, YouTube, and then not YouTube, TikTok and freaking Facebook, you got to have a certain amount of people and a certain amount of views for you to start making money. Tell me, does that sound right to you? The Wet Network, we are still building our foundation. I will admit that. We already got our channel up. But things are about to change. You got to start somewhere. You got to crawl before you walk. And then you walk, then you're running. Remember, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So if you're sick and tired of getting those guideline warnings or strikes from YouTube and getting shadow banned, in the words of Suge Knight, come over to the Wet Network. And unlike Suge Knight, we are 50-50 with you. Just go on not hashtag, but Fade to Black Facebook page. Message us. Tell us about yourself, and tell us what you have to offer. Set up a meeting, and we can go from there. Once again, go to our Facebook page, Fade to Black. Message us. Let's talk about it. And with that, I yield the floor.
Come to the Wet Network. Like Big Red, my business hours are 9 to 5, but my DMs are always open. So hit the line and speak your mind. I know I'm rhyming right now, but that's because I've been smoking pine. Now, all jokes aside, definitely invest in yourself. And when you come across like-minded individuals, synergize that energy. Turn it into a collective. Make that collective become a movement. Turn that movement into a moment in history. But it's up to you. Your community could be 2 blocks, or 2 time zones, or it could be 2 oceans away, 2 oceans wide span worth. Point being, it's only as big as you allow it to be. It's only as big as you facilitate the need for it to be. And when there's a need outside of your community that's not being facilitated properly, work within that community to facilitate that properly. Overall, relinquishing all need for the existence of third-party help. And also maintaining majority worth and gain when doing business with third-party entities. Let's always remember this. Let's always keep this true and apply it to our lives. Once again, Greensboro, now come holler at me. Send me your videos so we can shut beat that up. Show 102, we got some shit here and we've been had some shit. Y'all just ain't been paying attention. Thank you for watching. Good night, good show. Y'all be blessed. Drink one.
And speaking of that, as for Beast Johnson, as me as your great host, Don Almonte Morris, we will be back on Friday. But for this show, we got to head on out. Catch y'all later. It's been real.
Peace.
Thank y'all for tuning in. And also thanks Real Child Boy Popcorn for sponsoring this show. We're outro.
Y'all be safe.
Mm-hmm.